Where my girls at? Yeah, where my girls?
Keep on watching while we keep knocking.
Where my girls at?
You love the flow, it's the lady show.
Where my girls at? Yeah, where my girls?
This is the Lady Guru Show.
Yeah. What's going on, everybody? You are now watching and listening to the Lady Guru Show. What's going on, Guru?
What's up? Hey.
Yeah, we are coming in hot.
You're in the mix.
Game changers, radio.
All right, everybody, we have a special guest today, and you already know this man. He and Ed
Yes.
Lover are two of the best to ever do it. He is a pioneer, regarded as hip-hop's royalty. He paved the way and showed that hosts can be just as entertaining to watch as any well-executed hip-hop video. If you know hip-hop, if you know MTV, he was part of the fastest growing shows in hip-hop history. Everybody, let's welcome in Dr. Dre.
Hey, Dre.
Thank you.
What's going on?
And there'll be $1 in everybody's cup after the show
Thank
for
you.
that introduction. Thank you so much.
Right.
Give that man his flowers. Give that man his flowers.
Absolutely.
Right?
I said, give me my candy bars, because if I'm gonna go with a sweet taste in my mouth. Get down.
So, Dre, I have a
Yes.
question for you.
Well, introduce yourself first.
It's Maddie.
Remember, I'm a blind amputee. I can't see you, and we're on a Zoom call. So the beauty about this is you get to see me, or maybe you don't. Ta-da!
You got jokes.
For
Okay?
everybody that's listening in, Dre, we tried to get on Zoom and Dre couldn't get the link to open up on the phone. So we are still interviewing Dre. Maddie, you had a question?
Yes. So, Dre, this is Maddie. Remember, I told you to remember my voice. Okay.
Hello, Maddie. How are you?
That's a good that sense is good. It should work. Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, I wanted to know, how did you start off to become so big now? Where did it all begin?
I don't know. Are you talking about my weight or my career?
No, your career. Now I can't even see your damn weight.
Well, that's good and bad, but you can feel your way to me. Anyway, here it is, simple and plain. Back in 1963, sometime in early January through April, my mother and father got together and
Wow.
They bounced around.
Dre.
and
Where it really started.
come December 5th,
We went way
December
back.
5th, I showed up, and it's been an incredible journey ever since. But that's how it all really started. I can't take total credit for it, but the blessings were, I've always been involved in music. I always loved to perform. I always loved radio growing up. Before there was a BLS, there was a 77 WABC with Chuck Leonard, Cousin Brucey, and all these other folks. I'm showing my age. And I was always enthralled and entertained and said, man, if I could just even think about doing something like that, I would love to do that, because I love the music. I loved watching Ed Sullivan, even though I was just a shorty at the time. But yeah, I mean, you got to understand something. You say how I got my start. These are the things that influenced me before there ever was an MTV, before there ever was a Soul Train, before there was ever any of these things. That's what brought me into, like, I got to do this. But what really got me going is when it was 1969 or 1970, and a gentleman by the name of James Brown, the hardest working man in show business, the godfather of soul, who also lived in Queens, New York, around the corner from my grandmother. I went to see him perform at the Westbury Music Fair, and my father was working security. And I watched when he walked on stage, and all these women lost their minds, screaming and hollering, throwing their underwear and bras at him. And I said, I got to do that, because I did that now, and I'm only 5 years old. I got to do that. Plus, it's got to be relative, because his last name is Brown, and so was mine. So that's kind of how I kind of got my start.
Can I just tell you how that works? Like, you were a young boy, and just these influences that came in that were out of your control, that had to do with music and entertainment, those came into your life at a young age. Can I tell you this? Because I want to give you flowers. I was anywhere from 4 to 10, right? When you and Ed Level were doing your MTV.
Yes.
But it was in my house, right? I swear to you, like, it influenced me at such an early age that it made me grow to love entertainment, hip hop culture, and all of that, to the point where I went to school for music, audio, production, and engineering. So nice. I give you your flowers, and I know how that works.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate you calling me a young boy. You and my Jamaican history. My family, my father's side of the family is from the island of Jamaica. So I appreciate
Jamaica,
that.
Man.
And I will not confess to stealing one of your peanut butter and jelly sandwiches during the MTV Raps era, just because I was in your house. But thank you.
Jay, you went to Adelphi University as well, right?
Yes, I did.
In Long Island, right?
Yes, I did. I went to Adelphi University. As many beautiful men of color and many beautiful women of color, I followed a big button, a smile, because she had me enamored. Well, she also had sex with me. And
but
she was going as a freshman.
It did you good. That one did you good.
Yes, it did me very well. But just to be honest with you, I also was a dean student, not a dean. Was it a dean student? When I went to Nassau Community College, I was on the dean's list. I had scholarships to Cornell University, Syracuse University, USC, University of Southern California.
Wow.
But my father had passed in 1981. I'm giving all my secrets away. But you can read this in a book coming up that I'm doing also. And I can make a sneaky announcement. You ready for it?
Go ahead.
Yes, I'm listening.
Go ahead.
The sneaky announcement is, you gotta wait for the sneaky announcement.
You suck.
No, here it is. No, seriously. I did go to Adelphi University, and I met a few gentlemen in my Black music course from the late, great Professor Andre Strobert. One of the gentlemen's name was Mr. Bill Stephanie, who went on to become president of Def Jam Recordings. Yes. Another gentleman I went to school with was Carlton Ridenauer. Carlton Ridenauer, yes, he went by the name of Chucky D.
Okay.
Chuck
Ow.
D. I also went to school with Harold McGregor, a.k.a. Harry Allen. I got to ask him. He also was the media assassin of Public Enemy. And yours truly, Dr. Dre. We all met in that class, and they introduced me to a radio station called WPAU 90.3 FM and 516-747-4757. You are here.
Nassau County.
Nassau all day.
Yes.
Long Island.
It was an Adelphi thing.
So basically you started in radio.
I started everywhere. I started on the street, DJing on the 1 and 2s with my group, The Concept, with T-Money, Rapper G, Easy G, Rockwell. And we DJed.
Hold on, question, because this man has done so much. And you confused me with your career because as you guys know, he was also the DJ for the Beastie Boys.
Can I finish telling my story?
Wait, hold on.
They asked me the question.
Wait. I remember when you was at WPAU. Hold on. You went. After WBAU with Chuck D, where did you go on from there? Because you were DJing. Were you DJing before or after WBAU or both?
I was DJing before the Beastie Boys. I was DJing with the Beastie Boys while being at BAU. We were interviewing people like LL Cool J. We were interviewing Run DMC and Jam, the late great Jam Master Jay, Davey DMX.
What? DMX?
Davey DMX. Davey
DMX,
who was Curtis Blow's DJ and
Curtis
producer.
Blow,
Who Curtis Blow was the producer and the king of rap himself, and Africa Bambaataa. And I also have the last interview with the late great Scott LaRock and KRS-One, Boogie Down Productions, on my show, The Operating Room. It's also what I call at that time the greatest hip hop incubator in the history of the culture and the music. With my group, The Concept, Spectrum City, featuring President Hank Shockley, Wizard KJEE, aka Keith Shockley, Butch Cassidy, Chucky D, aka Chuck D, and the last but not least, because he'll assassinate all of us with his charm, his wit, and his chocolateness, the one and only MC DJ Flavor, aka Flavor Flav. All that, plus so many other greats that were WPAU, such as the late great Rusty J, Amy Wachtell, the Night Nurse, the Nurse, the Concept Cuties, Steffi C. High, and of course the one and only late great Thaddeus Robinson, plus all the other groups that came through there, like Leaders of the New School, aka Busta Rhymes and Charlie Brown. Do I need to keep going?
No.
Do I need De La Soul? Early
De La Soul.
I can bring it all to you.
It don't stop. All of that. No,
wait. I have a question, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, it's more, I always say question, but it's more like a statement, all right? So you're the doctor, right?
Yes, I am.
I'm the nurse, right?
Absolutely.
I'm the nurse. So we can collaborate together, right? No, I'm just joking.
I'll just give you 20 cc's of what you might need.
No, I give you the cc's. But anyway,
do.
they used to call me the night nurse. Back in the day, it was an old comic book. And the night nurse used to help out all the villains. She used to cure them. She used to make house calls. Did you know about that?
They kind of projected that a little bit in the Daredevil series on Netflix with what is the actress's name? Oh my goodness.
Okay.
I'm blanking out.
So you into Marvel? You're into Marvel. But you know what I want to know, Dre?
Rosario Dawson?
I'm in the Rosario Dawson. Yes, he was a part of that. But the night nurse I speak of, Amy Wachtell, was into the dance hall, was into reggae. And she got her name from Night Nurse.
Yes, I know that one.
Don't let me go there, guys.
I love that song. That's like my theme song.
Yes.
That reggae song, I love it.
Every time I hear Night Nurse, I think of that.
Oh my
Dre,
God.
let me ask you something. Okay, so you just explained to us how it started, right? So the next stage was, how did you and Ed Lover come together? And how did y'all start that first talk show that y'all had? And then how did that lead to MTV? How did they pick y'all up?
Right.
Who told you that room when Ed and I came together? You weren't in that room.
We did our research.
Tell me what happened.
We did our research.
Okay, let me give it to you quick.
Put in that work.
Let me give it to you quickly to the point. I've been doing my thing for a long time prior to when I met Ed. I was on the road with the Beastie Boys, my group, Original Concept. We wrote a song on the Raising Hell album called Proud to Be Black, which I did the music, Rapper G did the lyrics, T-Money played the shaker, and it's on that multi-quadruple platinum album. Haven't seen it yet. So a gentleman by the name of the late, great Peter Darty, who was the executive producer of Yo MTV Raps, brought this show from England back to America called Yo, where he and Ted Demme picked Fab Five Freddy. Fab Five Freddy, my buddy, my friend, my pal.
I love him.
And he did a weekend show. But prior to that, at Nassau Coliseum during the Def Jam tour, Run DMC did a thing called a pilot called Yo MTV Raps with the late,
Yes.
great Jam Master Jay. I was standing
Mm.
on stage after being signed to Def Jam with my group, The Concept, which evolved into Original Concept, on stage introducing Public Enemy and sweating like a bull. Because what the hell was I doing with a winter jacket on in the middle of the summer? But I did
because
do
it was the style.
it was the sweatathon. But
Yeah.
I was DJing all over the city doing loft parties and all kind of other crazy stuff after I left the tour. And Peter came to see me at one of those parties with Jessica Rosenblum and a guy named Beaver. I think the place was called The Bank at the time. And he said, "Hey, Dre, what's going on?" I said, "Oh, hey, Pete, how you doing?" He said, "Yeah, you see the show, Yo MTV Raps?" "Yeah, man, I'm over here DJing, but keep talking." And he said, "What do you think about it?" I said, "Pete, this kind is not the right time to discuss it." But he said, here's my card, which had MTV's logo on it, and a shamrock. And my late great partner, Ozzie Gibson, was with me. And we looked at it and said, "Can you come by my office so we could talk about the show?" I said, "Sure." So I was working in the city at a place called Rhythm Method Management, who managed groups like the Jungle Brothers, Cool DJ, Red Alert, the late
Red
great
Alert.
Dave Funkin' Klein, my partner, and a group called Original Concept and Public Enemy at the time. So I went to go meet with Pete at MTV, which was always incredible to me because I walked in there in the late summer with that hot ass Def Jam jacket. I don't know why I did it. It's just trying to be impressive. And I walked up on the floor and I looked around. I was like, "Man, there's really no black people up here." And then all of a sudden I saw two black people and they were empty waste paper baskets. I said, "I know it. I know it. They're here. We're here."
Now,
So
let me ask you something about that.
Go
Now,
ahead.
at that time, in that environment, in that atmosphere, what do you think was going on, or what do you know was going on at that time that made them approach you about this, being that there were really nothing else like that going on at the time?
At MTV, remember, Rick James had a problem getting on MTV. Prince got on MTV a little
lot
bit,
of people.
and even Michael Jackson had a little issue getting on MTV. But
Yeah.
by the time we got there, he sold about 60 million records, and he impressed everybody to get there. So it's a cool thing. Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five were on MTV with The Message. The Fat Boys were the biggest rap group on MTV at the time because they were like their darlings. They made hit after hit after hit, even though Charles Stetler, who was our former manager for Ed and I, he did a great job getting them on. But Run DMC kind of broke the mold with Rockbox and King of Rock. So as we progress forward, I sit down with Pete and he says, "Well, what do you think about the show?" I said, "The show was cool. I like Fab, but you need to make the show a little more personable, a little more, fun too, as well as an interview, but bring some atmosphere to it. Rap music and hip hop are a culture. Just don't do it, straight interview back and forth all the time." So he said, "Well, I want you to meet somebody." And he introduced me to his production assistant, the late, great Ted Demme. And I met Ted, and Ted said, "Hey, man, come on down here. I want to see if you could do an audition tape." Prior to that, I went with Peter, because Peter asked me to actually produce on Yo MTV Raps. So T-Money, who was actually the only one of us who went to college for radio and television. And when Pete met me, he said, "You can really produce them?" "Oh, of course I can. I can do anything. I'm great." Called T up and we went and did a barbershop skit. And the guy that was supposed to come and sit in the chair and do it didn't show up. So I jumped in the chair and did it. Pete took the tape back to MTV. And they were like, "Yo, we want him." And I was laughing because I said to myself, there ain't no way MTV wants this big, fat black guy from Long Island to be on TV. I'm just three people too big.
Right.
Because at the time, MTV had a skinny image, and I was in love with Downtown.
But it
Julie
was
Brown.
talent. It was your talent.
I was enamored with Julie Brown. I was like, she's just so beautiful. And I love that British accent. Anyway, So Ted did an audition tape with me, and I went back down to Peter's office. Then Ted called and said, "Could you send Dre back down?" So I'm walking down the hall, and I see this tall, skinny kid sitting on the outside with a Gumby and blonde hair in the Gumby. I said, "There it is.
Wow.
No way I'm gonna be on.
Wow.
That's the guy. He's got the look.
Wow.
He fits it. He's skinny." So I walk in, and Ted goes, "Hey, Ed, this is Dr. Dre." And he goes, "I know who he is. He does that radio show I hear all the time." I said, "Yeah." He says, "I know who he is. I know his music." And he said, "This is my friend Ed Lover." So we sit down, and Ed and I do an audition tape. Ted loves it. So we see these two, Ted has these two Jamaican, what do you call it? Wigs, dreadlock wigs.
Oh
We
yeah, I
put 'em
remember
on,
them.
and we go into this dreadlock crazy thing we did. And Ted loved it. Picked up the tape, ran down the hall. I shook Ed's hand, walked down, said, "Nice meeting you." Went back to Pete, and we were just, catching up. Later, I get a call from Pete and says, "You got the job." I said, "What?" He says, "You got the job if you want it." Ted comes back down to the office and he says, "Can I talk to you and Ed again?" I walk back in and I'm like, "There's no way I got this job. I don't fit it. I mean, I got a radio voice, but I definitely don't have a TV body at the time."
At the time.
So it was Ted's forethought to put Ed and I together because he wanted to change the way MTV looked. I said, "First of all, you got two Black people on there at one time. That's a big change. That's a lot of changes."
That's it, right?
So I had to go and think about it. And I went back to my partners, Chuck D, Hank Shockley, Keith, Butch Cassidy and company at their office. And everybody was like, "Dre, MTV don't like Black people. Why are you even going there? We're going to do our own video show."
Really?
And Chuck was sitting at the desk. And Chuck said, "Dre, you got a job now?" I said, "No." "You getting paid right now?" "Man, I work at the management company. I think you should do the show."
So
I
you
said,
mean
"Okay,
to
I'm gonna
tell
do the show."
me,
Chuck
you
said
mean
to
to
do it.
tell me that y'all were more, or you were more concerned of the fact that you didn't have like a major job than the fact that these two Black men could get on this big platform and do something?
First of all, again, I'm using the terms MTV.
I know.
And the thing is,
especially back in them times,
we treated that show when we first started like a summer job. Either sometimes we'll have it or sometimes we won't. Because
You
when we
taught
were
him a
shooting
lesson.
in its earliest days of the Daily Show, which was called Yo MTV Raps Today, Ed still kept his job at Jackson High School as a security guard. He didn't quit because we filmed the show in one day. Oh yeah. So we didn't get a contract till almost a year and a half. Because at any time that show could have been gone.
Wow.
And remember, at that time, this is the uniqueness of what happened. Fab was the guy that got to travel and meet with different artists where they were. Ed and I were supposed to be in the studio. So when we went to go shoot the first show, I said to Ted, "Can I borrow your turntable?" He said, "What for?" I bought a bag of records, my mixer, and I said, "Plug this in and let's play music in the background." He said, "You're gonna play music?" I said, "It's called music television. What's wrong with you people?"
Hello.
"What's wrong with you people?" And he laughed about it. And when we started playing the music while we were doing the segments, he said, "That was a good idea. What else you got?"
Takeoff died from a gunshot wound to the head coming from the arm. The 28-year-old musician died from penetration gunshot wounds of the head and the torso into the arm. The Howard County Medical Examiner's Office ruled on Wednesday. Real quick, how do you feel about the rapid pace of rappers dying?
Well, let's go back to what I said before about the last interview with KRS-One and the late great Scott Barack Sr. from Boogie Down Productions, which then inspired a song called Self-Destruction. We're headed for self-destruction. Prior to that, it was King Holiday, Sing Sing for a Holiday, with the Fat Boys, Run DMC, Curtis Blow. I can name a ton of people who were in that video and in that song. Violence in rap music. See where I'm going? Rap music and hip hop was synonymous at one point. When Africa Bambaataa and the Zulu Nation wanted to end that rampant and ridiculous violence to everybody, that's why they created the Zulu Nation. What has happened, and I'm going to take full blame as a participant in playing videos on Yo MTV Raps that glorified this gang violence, gang colors, gang lifestyle, because we did play it. We knew, but we said, maybe this will calm things down. It didn't calm anything down. It actually
Got
peaked
worse.
it up. It made it more like, I got to do this. Even in last year's Super Bowl with, I ain't calling him the other Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre from NWA and The Chronic, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar representing the Bloods with red, and Snoop Dogg walking out there, crip walking and wearing blue. When they asked them not to do stuff like that, it's embedded in our culture, in our psyche. Like Takeoff passed away being neutral. He wasn't even like the guy with the gun. He was neutral. I didn't know the young man.
But Snoop is a good dude. He just always reps Crip.
Hold on. I know Snoop. Look, I can say I made Snoop because he came through Yo MTV Raps. I did.
Give him his flowers. He did a lot.
He gets more than flowers. He's a great representative of Southern California. He's a great worldwide representative for it. But can we let the gang stuff go? Can we say, you know what? We don't need this anymore. We did it. It's done. It's a part of who we are, but we don't have to celebrate it and walk around wearing it like that.
For everybody out there, this is the Lady Guru Show. We got Dr. Dre and we got King Charlie Prince in here. We're talking hip hop. This is a big conversation.
I'm sorry, I'm talking too much.
No. You're because I want to bring it back.
Perfect.
I just want to bring it back to what because you just made a big statement. Because we were talking about hip hop and we were talking about the quote unquote glorification of violence. And are you sure you're trying to take that upon yourself to wherein you feel responsible for the hip hop the way it glorifies violence? Is that what you're saying?
I said myself, I didn't include any of my other partners or Fab Five Freddy.
Go ahead.
I said Dr. Dre, co-host of Yo MTV Raps Today, the DJ, the big guy, not Ed Lover, not T Money, not Fab Five Freddy. This is not their opinion. This is mine. And I can only use examples of what is, what was, and where we are. And I believe because we showed a lot of videos that glorified gang colors, gang lifestyle, and everyone tried to turn their head and act like that isn't what happened, but it was. And I'll make another big statement. I believe
That's big right there, what you just said, too.
I know, because see, until you own it and say, and don't try to do what certain political parties do. Oh, well, that I don't mean it that way.
Instead of lying.
Why?
Instead of lying,
Why?
be real. Be
The
real.
history is here. I also will say, and to do both sides of the fence nicely, that if Ed Lover, Dr. Dre, T Money, and Fab Five Freddy were still on Yo MTV Raps, Tupac and the Notorious B.I.G. would have never been assassinated or killed. Ever.
Wow.
It would have never happened. Why?
Wow.
Because when the beef got out of control, guess where
Yeah.
they would have gone to put it to rest?
Right there.
MTV Raps.
Mhm.
Both of them were on the show. At the height of that nonsense, it was
Yeah.
Vibe magazine and the Source magazine. And you know that
Yes.
because Dr. Dre and that lover hosted the Source Awards,
Yeah.
where Suge came out, you
Yeah,
know,
he did.
getting that
Yes.
I
Puffy,
remember that.
and
Yeah.
Puffy was trying to defend, and then Snoop had to say, "Y'all don't like Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg? Y'all, that was."
Yeah, I remember. That was a time to be alive. I remember that.
Do you feel like at that time there was like a little naivety when it came to what you were trying to do? Because I do know that you kind of felt like this program was supposed to be pulling together the hip hop culture, and we were supposed to be growing together and advancing together and doing things together. Do you feel like there was a little naivete there?
No naivete. I was in front and behind. No naivete. Period. We knew.
Okay.
We understood it. Why? Because remember, when Yo MTV Raps today and Yo MTV Raps first hit the market, it wasn't in New York. It wasn't in Queens. It wasn't in Brooklyn. It wasn't in the Bronx. It was barely in Harlem and spottily around Manhattan. It was in Nassau County and Suffolk because we had Cablevision. The reason it became huge around the country is because other areas had cable. Let's keep that clear. With all due respect to Video Music Box, Ralph McDaniels and Lionel Martin, who helped pioneer this effort in the tri-state area, but it was Carlos De Jesus with New York Hot Tracks that really set the place on fire. You could see that evident when Ralph McDaniels speaks about that in his documentary. Big up to Ralph all the time. But let me finish. Let me quickly finish. But Yo MTV Raps, the Weekend and the Today Show, hit everywhere at the same time. So when you're saying, did we bring everyone together? Yes, we did. We brought the Ghetto Boys to your TV. We brought the 2 Live Crew and Uncle Luke to your TV. We brought MC Breed. We brought Sir Mix-a-Lot to your TV. We brought Ice-T. We brought NWA. We brought, I mean, can the list go on?
Mm-hmm.
We brought what's his name?
Y'all did the damn thing. I'm
we
telling
brought,
you.
We brought everybody across the board. Everyone with no distinction. Because when you watched Yo MTV Raps, it didn't say Yo MTV Raps West, Yo MTV Raps
East,
Dirty South,
West Coast,
Yo MTV Raps New York. It said everybody.
Yeah.
That was the thing. Here's the blessing that got turned into an issue. Because of our naivete to the depth of gang life on the West Coast and why, we had to learn about it the way they did as it got exposed further. Now, the biggest thing Yo MTV Raps did today and Fab Fun Freddy Show, we turned young, white, rock and roll, heavy metal fans into rap fans.
There you go.
Because they got to actually see
yes,
pop
you
culture
did.
That's so true.
equally.
That's very true.
Equally to that. So they weren't afraid. There was no, I'm afraid of them anymore. It was like, I want to see Cypress Hill.
Right.
What are you talking about?
Right.
I like Tupac. I like, wait a minute. Queen Latifah, Moni Love, wait a minute. The Brat, you know, Crisscross. That was facts.
King Charlie Prince, you remember Yo MTV Raps, and you remember that era. As a matter of fact, you had some bangings on the scene yourself. We were basically just talking about hip hop and what it and how it progressed and what it is today. How do you feel about hip hop where it is today, and in your experience, how you came up?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Well, hip hop today is flip flop.
There's something. Wait a minute before you say that. There's something in the
Hip-hop is
background
flip-flop.
that's something in the background that is talking.
Hip hop today is flip flop. It's not what it used to be. You know what I'm saying? You know, everything that they rapping about today it's like, you know, the mumble jumble rap for one. It's like how they sold us on the auction block. 24, 24, 24, 34, 34, 34. So, you know what I'm saying?
I said the same thing, King.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
So
like I don't understand what they're saying.
Exactly. So it's like, you know, you don't know what they're saying, but it's a hit. But it's a hit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, you could actually have two lyrics in a song and it become number one.
What's the difference between we can't really understand what they're saying and mumble rap?
Mumble rap, like I said, is mumble jumble. You can't understand what they're saying. I'll give you a perfect example. It was a mumble jumble rap that happened back in the days by Fru Snickens. And I looked on Google to look up the lyrics. And when I looked up the lyrics, I tried to read the lyrics as the song was playing, and I still couldn't go along with it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, what the hell is they saying? Like, really?
For all due respect, can I jump in real quick?
I mean, it's really the beat, you know, that's carrying it. But
can I jump in real quick?
He want to jump in. Dre said he want to jump in.
All due respect to King Charlie there, he did an incredible job with the Dynamic 3, you know, and Rockmaster Scott, because that's why the roof is always on fire when it comes to him. DJ, please pick up your phone. I'm on the request line. I want to agree with you, Charlie, but I cannot, because I got to go bump, stickity, bump. We want effects and DOS effects. What the hell were they talking about? Let me finish.
Well, no,
And
at
if it
least they
wasn't
had some lyrics that we understood.
No, wait a minute. Because Twister from Chicago, nobody knows what the hell he was saying. Because he was saying it at 10,000 miles an hour.
He had to break that down. He had to break it down.
But he was rhyming really fast. He was. It wasn't really mumbo jumbo. He just rhymed very fast. What the?
It's the music that.
You know what? It's not even just about we don't know what they're saying, right? Because it's music is a vibe. Like music makes you feel something. So whether you're going with the beat, the flow of it, all of it together, whatever, it's a flow of it. So, but when you can break down the lyrics and you get into the lyrics and you can hear what the lyrics are, you do understand what they're saying. That's a different story, right? It could be mumble jumbo. Me just like, you know, this new generation is real into the vibes of things, right? But when you break it down into the lyrics, right? What we're talking about, what we're hearing, what these young people are hearing, right? What do you feel about that?
I want to agree to disagree again.
Okay.
I want to agree to disagree because I'm an evolutionary revolutionary. Okay? Because when the Fatback Band, who actually recorded the first rap record on Spring Records called King Tim III, Personality Jock, give it to me and I'll give it to you. Do it to me and I'll do it to you. Ring, dang, dang, ding, dong, dong.
But you understood some of those words.
No, wait a minute.
Absolutely.
Wait a minute. It's an evolutionary revolution because all music changes as it grows. I can mention a whole bunch of rap groups prior to that you were like, what the hell did they say? Even Treacherous Three's new rap language. You have to go, what? And let's not start with Big Daddy Kane and Raw. Give it to me raw.
Okay, but you understood them.
Yeah,
you understood. Give it to me raw.
It was a process. We can't, because we grew up in this tri-state area of it and expanded to the what we liked. As you get older and the new generation comes up, they're going to speak to their generation.
Yeah, that's
and I'll
true.
be the first one with my hand up saying, I don't know how the hell Cardi B became huge and famous but I respect her.
Cardi is hot.
Yeah, but see, did you hear what I just said? I said
Yeah.
I respected her. Same thing with Nicki Minaj. They
Mhm.
all
Nicki's hot
evolved
too.
from people prior to them.
That's right.
But there's a
Lil'
They
difference,
did.
Clarity.
So when you talk
Nicki
about mumble
Minaj
rap,
is a lyricist. There's a difference.
exactly,
Cardi
no.
Yes.
But I think that becomes personal choosing.
I love
When you
Cardi, but
speak to
she-
this generation, they understand every lyric that flies by, from
Yeah.
the Amigos
Yep.
to 2 Chainz to Papa Smoke to everything. Everything has its time,
Mhm.
and they seek its audience. So it's hard for us to be revolutionaries, and great artists of culture, and especially Charlie. Like I said, how do you top The Roof Is on Fire? You don't.
Let me
But
just say,
Yeah,
all right, let me say this, right? I have a studio, right? And I record. And this one time I recorded a mumble jumble rap. Because I could do the mumble jumble rap. And I did it. And when I recorded it, I kept playing it over and over. And I'm like saying, nah, this is not
This
me.
ain't for me. It's not
This
me.
is not me.
I
You
can
know,
tell it's not. I know it's not you.
but
you
it's
know what
not
I'm
supposed
saying?
to
So
be
I'm
for
like,
you.
Well, look, I think what we're
That's the problem with the music.
All right,
Let's
hey,
just
look,
put music out again. Let our audience.
again, that's the word again.
Yes,
Why does there
again.
have to be the word again attached? So my point is that
Well, that's when I
there's
say
a
again.
difference between mumble rap and just straight up whack, just straight up bad music.
Mhm.
But let me throw this at Charlie. Let me throw this at Charlie Prince real quick. Let me throw this at you real quick. Here's a question.
okay, if
Here's
you
a quick
could, let me just
question.
say this. If you could mumble and I could understand it, then that's one thing. But if you mumble to the point where you can't understand it, then that's another thing.
Yeah.
But somebody does understand it.
King Charlie Prince, let me ask you this. If you get a young artist in there, right? And they are a quote unquote decent mumble rapper, right? They go along with your beat and it feels good. The vibe is there. This is what is going on in this new generation,
Mhm.
right?
If I could understand you, then that's one thing. But if it gets to the point where you mumble to the point where you can't understand it, then I can't. Then I have to take the track and show them how it should be done. Like Rakim said, this is how
As
it
a
should
producer,
be done.
as
You
a
know what I'm saying?
producer, right? Right. Okay.
Let me ask Charlie Prince a question, not based on what you know today, but would you have signed Vanilla Ice prior to what he did with his song Ice Ice Baby?
No,
Would you have signed Vanilla Ice?
no.
Yes.
Mm.
No. See,
I
he
love
said
that
no.
song.
Hold
He said
on,
no.
hold on.
If
He
I
said
could,
no.
if I could understand them, yeah. But if I didn't,
No. You said no.
Did you ever hear the song? Ice
He
Baby.
said no. He said
He
no.
said no.
Oh.
when you say
Let me
Ice
finish my
Ice Baby, I
question.
know what you said.
Hold on a second. No, you said no, and I'm gonna take you on your word. Okay?
Do you
Okay.
know the song though? Let's keep it fair.
Yeah, everybody knows the song.
Yeah, I know.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Oh,
But I'm
okay.
saying prior to knowing that
You
would
never
happen,
know.
he said no. He said no. He's a producer. He brings a tape in. He said no. Now let me tell you a story that a lot of people don't know. Long time ago, I got a tape from a guy, and his name was Eminem,
Huh.
and I heard it from Detroit. And I was like, because I was hanging out with some people in Detroit, and I said, I don't know if this is gonna work. It just doesn't. No, because it wasn't what you
Why?
hear, and he did. It was something
Why?
else.
Why, Dre? What?
Because the way he was rhyming and what he was doing didn't fit what I thought rap music
But
should
that,
be.
but then,
Hold
then
on.
Which was what? Wait.
I
I
was-
want to hear what he gonna say. Which was
I
what?
was
Okay.
wrong. I was wrong.
What was it that? What was it in that tape that you didn't feel like fit?
He didn't.
What?
He didn't make sense, and he wasn't rhyming on the beat.
But it
I
made
was
money
wrong.
though.
I was
And
wrong.
a lot of, I guess.
And a lot of
I'm gonna
people
keep it funky.
People what with?
When Eminem first came out, I agree with you. I'm like, what?
But
Right,
what
what
you
was
heard,
it?
wait a minute. But what you heard when he came out wasn't what was on the tape that I got.
Okay. Okay.
That I Jigga Slim Shady. He didn't say no Slim Shady on the tape I got.
Okay.
And I was like, nah, this ain't gonna work.
Okay.
If it did say Slim Shady, would you have signed it?
No, because it was again,
But
it was a tape.
Okay.
No, it
but
was
again,
a tape.
now I feel like you're contradicting yourself.
No, I'm not.
Because
I heard a tape.
Can I explain?
From a
Can I
guy
explain
rhyming.
something?
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, but can I explain something? Like we were just talking about mumble rap, right? And you were like, okay, it's popular, it's popping. You know what I'm saying? Real hip hop. What is real hip hop? Rapping, right? The foundation of hip hop is straight rapping, freestyling. I know people that can freestyle their butts off, and that's what Eminem used to do. So,
Right.
like when you say that Eminem, because you didn't like his way of doing his rap thing, the way he was.
I didn't
doing
like
it.
that tape.
You didn't like the
I
tape.
did not like
The
the
tape, the
demo
demo
tape
tape that he
he
gave
gave
I don't
me.
like the mumble music.
And that's
None
fine.
of it.
But that's
But if you
That's your
said if
choice.
it's selling, if it's
No,
see,
not
I
even
think-
I didn't say
selling.
that at
Not
all.
even
See,
selling.
I
But
never
what
said that.
happened? What happened between whatever he sent you? What was the difference between what he sent you, what you heard in that tape,
yeah,
and what came out? What was the difference?
because you probably could have fixed it.
No, what happened is
Like-
that 5 years later, almost 6 years later, he got with
Dr. Dre.
50 and he got with the other Dr. Dre, and they flipped his style so he could be understood.
Okay. Okay.
And when I got the tape, it was given to me. He didn't send it. Somebody else gave it to me.
Okay.
He wasn't trying to hear it.
Okay.
I said,
So
well,
wait, you couldn't
Okay.
understand him in the tape?
That's
no,
major.
you understood him, but it was too freestyling and not song structured. And I'm gonna tell you,
Right.
I
And
work
King,
with what I
King
call
Prince,
But
I
wouldn't
know
you
go with the
you are
lyrics?
big on song structure, correct?
Yes, King is.
I work with one of the greatest freestylers who ever got on a microphone, Ed Lover. I will give him that
Okay.
credit.
Okay.
He
Okay.
is an
okay.
I'll give him
amazing
credit too.
freestyler. He's not a great rap song rapper. He doesn't make great songs. And I made an album with him. I know.
I know.
He may have
But you
changed,
guys still made an album.
right? Because
You probably saw the lyrics and you guys were able to collaborate and put it together to
no,
make
it didn't
hit.
work that way either. That's a different story. But let me just give you a summation
Two different
so you
things.
realize I'm not really being a hypocrite. What I'm trying to say is whoever did mumble rap, they did it because that's what they listen to. They enjoy what their
Right.
vibe is.
Right.
As what the other young lady was saying. The point I'm trying to make is music is supposed to be personal to those who are intaking it. Remember, everybody when Stevie Wonder first came out wasn't in love with the blind Stevie Wonder. Didn't work that way.
That's
Even
crazy.
the
It's a
Supremes,
vibe.
Could
It's
I
a
answer-
vibe.
could I
Can
answer-
you
The
can you
Supremes
go
couldn't-
with the vibe though?
the
Can you
Supremes
go?
couldn't
Yes,
buy
of
it.
course.
Can you cancel out the mumble jumble? Can you cancel out the lyrics and can you go with the vibe? Is that okay?
No,
Yes,
you
that's
can't because that's being an artist.
Let me say,
That's-
Yeah,
To
yeah.
the general
artist.
audience and to the
Never
generation
mind.
that's
Let me-
But
listening
you
to the
can't
music
say
right
that.
now.
Wait,
Okay.
That's what
I
they're
think.
doing.
Wait a minute. I think King Charlie Prince was hitting on the issue. I think
Yes, he was.
basically, yeah. I think your disappointment comes in when too much money is in hit. Like when they prop artists up and they have a money agenda with that. I think that's where because the radio now, let's be honest, the radio will throw on anything.
exactly. My thing is this: like, if we work so hard to do verses,
Right.
and then all of a sudden they come with this mumbo jumbo, and it's like, damn, we did all this hard work, and they just do
For
a
what?
mumbo jumbo rap, and they making all this big money behind all of this. You know what I'm saying? And
Because there's 360.
it's really not talent to me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you do mumbo jumbo every now and then in your rap, that's one thing. But when you're going straight through the song or mumbo jumbo, then I don't consider that talent.
Well, some of it has to do with whose interest it is involved with. So
That's true.
if
That's
an
true.
artist has a 360 deal, And in that 360 deal, he got two people that's pushing the music in order to get that money back. I think it goes back to originally what you said about well, you didn't say, but I was just showing that when the money is involved too much, look, we can't appreciate an artist who is set up with no talent and money.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, it's like a virus. It's like a sickness that injects itself into the hip hop, into the rap, and it waters it down. Wherein now, if you have a weird flow and a weird kick drum and snare underneath that, now that's considered the status quo.
But listen, where did this come from? Where did it come from? That's where did it come from? Where did this vibe come from? To this new generation, the derogatory, even in the lyricism, the derogatory statements, the whole vulgarness of everything, the mumbling of it.
No,
Where
no,
did it
I
come
think y'all are
from?
riding on that too hard. Because there was a guy named Rapping Duke, the hard.
I remember him.
I could take it this far.
We used to be on tour. We used to be on tour with Daha.
But he's a lyricist. He's a lyricist.
And I think this is the issue, what I call it modern day hip hop and rap criticisms. Because as time goes by, you get to break everything down in its own way. But you forget the other artists that came along and they just made records to make records. There wasn't all this definition and here's the way it goes and it should be this way and it should be that way. It doesn't work that way in music. It's not art.
But hip hop is art.
It's funny because
Wait, music is not art?
Hold on. King Charlie Prince, go ahead.
It's funny because the same way they mumble jumble rap today and the way the original rap today was, it's the same thing with women dancing today on the dance floor. They not moving. They don't got foot movement no more. They just stand in one spot and twerk.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
You know what I'm saying? That's the same thing.
Foot movement. I got foot movement.
Maddie.
I got so much to
I love dancing to
Like, I
hip
got my
hop.
foot
Well, let me ask Charlie Prince this then. Let me ask you,
what? I'm all about that.
Right. Do you think that the people who are listening to the hip hop, do you think they are receiving it? How do you think that they're receiving? Is it different from when it was before of hip hop fans receiving the music and reacting?
Well, the way I see it right now, the way I see it, if these companies is paying the radio stations to play this mumble jumble, then that's what's gonna happen.
Here's my thing about artistry, music, and you want to name it. My favorite artist right now, who's one of the biggest selling artists in the world right now, because every day his song plays at the end of the day in China. So his ASCAP and BMI is the biggest artist on the globe. And he drops records all the time. And everybody and certain people, oh, he's not for real. He's not this. He's not that. And his name is simple. There's two of them. One's name, Kenny G, the jazz saxophone artist. He is out of control. The second most popular artist, 5-time Grammy Award winner, who has a rap record out right now, Weird Al Yankovic. Because he's parodying Little.
I haven't heard his name in a minute, but okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
He's got a new album out?
King Charlie Prince, who is your favorite artist right now?
Me.
King Charlie Prince.
Okay, sir.
King Charlie, can I just say something to you real quick?
Yeah.
Because I just want to let you know, I know like your greatest hit and everything, but my favorite of yours of all time is I'm Still Standing.
Oh, okay.
And I want to go back to where we want to bring the roots back to hip hop. And you said it the best because you said nowadays at the clubs, they just standing there. But let them play some old school, real hip hop. We dancing, right or
Absolutely.
wrong.
Absolutely.
Amen.
And
Go
they
ahead,
move,
King.
and they moving their feet, not just standing on one spot. And
Exactly.
That's
you know
right.
what I'm saying?
Exactly. Exactly.
See, my
Because
thing
they
is
don't know what they moving to.
exactly. See, my thing is this: like when you paying these radio stations big money, they're gonna go according to what they're getting paid for to do.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So even if you got a hit, it's gonna be put to the side. Just because they're getting paid to play this other stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand that when you play something long enough, you find yourself getting hooked to the song, even if it ain't your song.
You accept it. You
Yeah,
accept
you
it as
just
status
accept it.
quo.
Exactly. It's like they play it over and over and over, and next thing you know, you find yourself singing a hook to the
Go
song.
ahead. Yep.
You know, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's how it works. You know, these radio stations, they want that money.
They know what they doing. They know what
Of
they
course.
I don't know if
They
we
put-
answered the question from before though, right? Like the Kanye theory of what's coming in as, you know, what we're tuning into. And I know you are, you know, big on what the message is, right?
Absolutely.
Did we answer
He's
the
a
question of
lyricist.
what we're tuning into, where it's coming from, why it is, and how we're responding to it as a culture? Like, what's your take on that?
A lot of people never understood the song "The Roof Is on Fire," and I always explain this to a lot of people. When I say the roof is on fire, this here represents the roof. Because when you had it up
And
to
let
here,
it keep burning.
right? Once you had it up to here, you start speaking the truth. And when you speak the truth, that represents the fire. And when you speak the fire, the enemy don't like it. And he'll say, the roof is on fire. But the righteous people would say, we don't need no water. Let
that
burn.
Burn.
You know what I'm saying?
Wait a second. Wait.
Yes.
Wait. You saying even back in the day when y'all put this song together, that was the message.
The concept.
That was the message.
Yeah.
But we had to make it sound like a party song. But
Yes.
But at the same time, it really meant you had it up to here. You know what I'm saying? And when you had it up to here, you speak it. And when you speak the truth represents the fire. And the enemy don't like the fire.
Hello now.
Do you understand? And and then the righteous would say, the roof is on fire. I mean, the enemy would say the roof is on fire, but the righteous would say, we don't need no water. Let them burn. You know what I'm saying? But people, but we made it sound like a party song. You know what I'm saying? But
that's crazy. Wait. Slow it down for a second, okay? Because that's crazy, right?
Can I sum it up for you, Darcy?
Nah, I get it, but I want everybody to get it.
So I'm gonna sum it up in layman's terms for everybody. So all the guru followers listen to this, right? Fire, okay, is a good thing and a bad thing, right? Because fire, you can get burned, right? But also fire is good because you use it as heat and you use it to make s'mores, you know, with chocolate in it and all that. So basically, in layman's term, let that for them burn so we can make our s'mores.
Absolutely.
In layman's term.
And the funny thing about the song, "The Roof Is on Fire," I was young back in them days.
Yes, you were.
How did you become a part of the group?
Right.
Well, I became a part of the group. It started out, you know, I was a person that played music, and people in the neighborhood knew that I played music. So, but the people that wanted me down with them didn't like me at the time because they said I was a troublemaker. I was throwing stuff out the window, you know, and while they was playing football and basketball and stuff like that. But I became a part of a group called the Dynamic Three. The guy next door he asked me would I come to a show in New Haven, Connecticut. And when he asked me, I had to ask my mother, can I go? But my mother didn't want me to go until I told her who the guy that asked me, because he was a good person in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? And because the people liked him, she said it was all right if I can go. But then we went, did the show. The guy that didn't want me to go, his name was Slick Rick, the original Slick Rick, before the other Slick Rick came on the scene. Now, a lot of people don't know there was two Slick Ricks.
Yes.
There was, you understand? Because there was my Slick Rick, who was down with my group. But then in 1985, another Slick Rick got down with the group from Dougie Fresh.
And just remind
with
everybody,
with the patch on his eye.
everybody where you're from.
Right, exactly.
Remind everybody where you're from.
I'm from the BX, Bronx. You know what I'm saying? And
Born
so
and
Where
raised.
hip hop started.
Okay.
Born and
Right.
raised.
And so the funny thing is, my producer said he wanted us to hear this other group on a cassette tape. And so he played the cassette tape. We heard it, we liked it, and it was Dougie Fresh at the time. And when when we heard it, he said, "Do you think we should put him with the label?" We said, "Yeah, why not?"
Right.
But then when he got with the label, all of a sudden I hear Slick Rick. I said, well, here's a little something that needs to be heard. I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. My Slick Rick said Slick Rick on the request line, and then this Slick Rick comes on the scene, and he's Slick Rick too. You know what I'm saying? So people didn't know that there was two Slick Ricks on the same record label, which was Reality Records. And Reality Records, so we accepted Dougie Fresh on the label, which was called Reality. And he came out in 1985. We was out in 1984 with Request Line and The Roof Was on Fire, even though we was out before that. Because we made
Request Line.
Because we made a song back in 82 called It's Life You Gotta Think Twice. But as time went by, we allowed Dougie Fresh and them to get on the label. And next thing you know, it was two Slick Ricks. So people started to think that the Slick Rick that was with Dougie
was your Slick Rick.
Right. They thought my Slick Rick left my group and went with Dougie. You know what I'm saying? And I said, no. I said there's two Slick Ricks now. You know what I'm saying? So that's how the complication became, because everybody didn't know what the real deal was when it came to the Slick Ricks, you know, because he was Ricky D in the beginning. When he got with when he was with Dougie, he was like, he even said it himself. He said, "My name is Ricky D." You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you this though. As far as you and a Dynamic 3 were concerned, you already told me something deep, right? You were young at the time, so everybody was on that type of level, right?
Right.
Like, how does that work in that time, and how do you kind of like put that message into like a shell, kind of, to put it into something else to make it sell?
Well, we knew people like to curse, for one. You know, so we knew that worked. So once we knew people like to curse, we let it go. You know what I'm saying? But the funny thing about all of this is we was young, and when my mother heard it, and when my mother heard the song, she said first she heard Request Line, and she, you know, my mom, she was a Christian, so she took it to her girlfriend's house and let her girlfriend hear it. Next thing you know, she played the flip side, and she heard this cursing. She ran back home. And she got on my ass about it. She was like, "You cursing on songs?" I'm like, So I'm like, because we was young and we sitting there saying, we don't need no water, let them burn.
How old were you? How old were you?
I was like 17 years old.
Okay.
And when she heard me cursing on the song, I said, "Mom," I said, "it wasn't us cursing. I said, it was the audience. I just said the room." That was my way out.
She probably in the church and everything.
Yeah, that was my way. That was my way out.
So King,
Huh?
I really haven't heard something recently from you. Like, I need to hear something from you because I do like your music. I actually love your music, like I
Okay.
said. So I don't want to hear The Roof is on Fire. I want some lyrics.
Oh, shoot, I got over 200 songs. You know what I'm saying?
Well, just give me one. I need to hear one. I need to hear your voice again. Let's go.
Let me see. I cause a riot, spit metaphors when I apply it. Lyrics are fatter than Albert, should be on a diet. You on some fly ish? I'm on some ready to die ish. And y'all say most rappers don't even try it. I blow the mic up like the calls up on my celly. You shaking like jelly, a girl scream like I'm R. Kelly. I floss the pelly, I spit my rhymes in a jelly. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Keep going. I
Okay.
You
love
know
it.
what I'm saying?
See, now I'm confused because, like, to me, that's my hip hop. That's my hip hop world. That's like hip hop start right there. So when I'm just a little confused, I thought music was an art.
It is. You know, it
So
just
when somebody says music isn't an art, I got confused because I'm like, to do that, to come up with lyrics like that, to put it all together, to make it make sense, but in a funny way, and like, yo, you had me go, oh, that's my type of hip hop. So then with this new hip hop genre or this new music or something, why can't they be in another genre type? Because you can't kill real hip hop.
no, you can't. And it's not gonna happen. But I can say one thing. Heidi always told me, step up my game.
For real, you like you just brought
It's
me
a
back.
transgression, right? It's like everything has to transgress and things change, right?
You gotta move with the
Yeah,
time.
but still, people love that. Real, especially if you're from New York, you still want to hear that. You can make the hip hop newer, but with that old school fashion, it's
Hmm.
nothing. You just reminded me of one of my favorite lyricists,
You
Nas.
talking
Like
about
just.
intertwining. You're talking about intertwining that
No, I'm not
old
talking
school
about
vibe and the
intertwining. I
new
want to.
school vibe, right? That
No,
would
yeah,
be
but I want to hear
wonderful.
some hip hop. You know what I'm saying? That
You
I
could
could
Right.
you could you
understand, that I
can
could
you
relate to.
put it together for us? And another
Yeah, can
thing
you
I
do
want to
something
know,
like that?
as far as like I want to know what is your like what do you enjoy more as far as music is concerned? Like, do you enjoy the beat making production? Do you enjoy the songwriting aspect of it? Do you enjoy
You,
the performing?
you know,
What's your
my thing. Well,
I say writer.
my thing in hip hop is, I like to talk about everything. I don't want to stick
You're a
to one.
writer.
Right. I don't like to stick to one subject. You know,
You're a
I can look
writer.
at it.
He's a lyricist.
I can look at a love story and I can write to it. I can look at anything on television and I can write to it. You know what I'm saying? But when you stick
You're
to
a
one,
writer. I already said that.
right. So I don't stick to one particular thing. You know, that's just me.
I got a
Like,
question for you. Why don't we see you were in a group? Why don't we see groups the way they used to be in hip hop?
you know, I, that's a good question. And tell you the truth, it's hard to answer that question because when I was with my group, you know, I wasn't like a Bobby Brown or a David Ruffin. You know what I'm saying? I stood my grounds. You know, it was like I stayed in my
What was
place.
you then?
I stayed in my place. You know what I'm saying? Like some group members, they was do things to stand
So,
out. So they can be noticed more.
but you was already you didn't. So basically, standing your place, you stood out. Just being yourself. Hey, it works, guys. Anyway,
Right?
let me get back to something else, right? Like my whole thing, right, is I'm gonna bring it back to what Heidi had mentioned. Can you take old school hip hop and make it into with today's version? And when I say that, I want to see if you can get a song together, right, that can make the ladies still twerk on the dance floor, but the old school hip hop, like, oh,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
sorry,
Can you
Maddie,
do
but
that?
you didn't hear the latest version
Oh,
of The Roof is on Fire?
No,
I,
I
No.
did, but I'm saying, I'm talking about with that other whole
you know,
different type.
I have a song called "She's a Teaser." Uh,
Yes.
you know, and yes, it's a
But
song where women get on the dance floor and do their thing. But I don't.
we used to do our thing with regular hip hop, like remember the butterfly
Yeah,
grinding, you know what I'm saying,
yeah.
getting all the way to the ground. We used to do our thing with regular hip hop.
I was
But
wondering the butterfly.
do you have some twerkers in that group too?
Mm,
Like some real hardcore twerkers.
well, basically, this song called "She's a Teaser." I'm basically working on a video, and of course,
Well,
it's gonna be in a strip
so
club. You know what I'm saying?
There's
but
more
can you
to
make them
dancing.
really twerk? Because maybe that would bring the twerking and the old school hip hop dancing back. We
Oh
could try to
yeah.
make a new dance move.
Listen. I could do whatever the people
What?
want. You know what I'm saying? I could do anything.
She said, "What? You don't understand? I want to see twerking
I don't know
and
what
grooving
Hey,
all in
but
one show."
from an artist standpoint, I like that type of talk, man. When an artist be like, "Yo, I can do anything,"
Yep.
when
Absolutely.
they say that, for all of y'all that's executives out there, man, you gotta pay attention. Man,
Oh,
you gotta pay attention. When an artist say that I could do anything, yo, I'm gonna put that dude in the studio, have him sleep there and everything.
I could do it all. I could do it all. You
A
know,
man of many talents.
See, I
absolutely.
thought I made sense. I didn't make sense just
Listen,
now.
but what do you enjoy more though? What do you enjoy more? The
Do you
production,
Me,
love
I'm old
performing
writing,
school.
the
more
I'm
than
old school.
performance? What?
do you love performing more than creating being in the studio and doing the elements of putting the song together? Or do you like just being on stage more, Charlie?
Wait. Say that question again.
What do you like more? Do you like making music more? Or do you like being on stage performing
Being
more?
on
What do you like more?
being on stage performing.
Hey, King
Oh,
Charlie,
okay.
can you tell all the people that's out there right now, all the young ones that's listening to this, can you tell them how important it is when a performer performs, how his breath control, even being a rapper.
Yes.
I mean,
Oh,
I think
oh.
Jadakiss put on a clinic at that
Listen.
you know, his breath control, you could hear every lyric, and he was up there for a good 45 minutes.
Yeah.
How important is it?
Well,
Yeah, how important is it for a rap artist, those guys that want to be rappers, those ladies that want to be rappers, how important is it for them to have breath control?
Oh, it's very important because when you on the stage and you doing them long verses, you definitely gotta have that. You definitely gotta have breath control. The only way you don't have to have breath control is if you have the lyrics playing under it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because if you skip
That's what
something, it
makes a
still
lot.
plays.
It's a lot to it.
I don't
It's
like
a lot
that.
to that. It's a lot to
Yeah.
that. Even
you
the breath control, like if you're not, there's so many categories to it. If you're not a performer and you're not doing this and the breath control ain't gonna be that serious. But if you a real, performing, you going to this side of the crowd and you going to this side, back to the crowd,
Like
and
Michael
you just,
Jackson.
Michael
Like-
you all into it like that. Okay.
See,
Like, you need it.
see, the one thing about performing, you have to have you definitely got to have an introduction, and I never forget. I came on stage one day and Heidi just started dying laughing.
She would.
What happened?
I can't.
Because his entrance, his entrance, I don't know, but he has this own, long live the king, long live the king.
And what was funny?
That's hot.
though?
That's fire.
What happened? What was so
That's
funny,
my
Heidi?
friend.
We don't need
That
no
was
water.
my
Let that
friend.
mother burn.
That's right.
Every time I look at that video, I just see her dying laughing in the background.
They be going, long live the king. He be like this. That's my friend, so I'll be laughing.
Yeah.
I can picture it.
Heidi is the bomb.
I gotta see him. He didn't have his cape on that day though.
Oh, no cape. Did he have a crown on?
No, I actually I was supposed to come on there with my
Yeah,
cape.
you didn't have your crown on. Yeah,
I was
You're supposed to have a crown. You're supposed to have a crown, a cape, and a stick.
But he come on the stage like, long live the king.
Long live the king.
So, King Charlie, what
actually, I was supposed to come on there that day with my cape, but you know, it didn't happen. So I just came on regular, and this Heidi just started dying laughing in the background.
so, King, what do you prefer? Do you prefer trap beats? Do you prefer commercial beats? What kind of beats do you prefer?
I could deal with, to tell you the truth, I could deal with any beat. You know what I'm saying? But it's how I say my lyrics to it. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
But, you know,
all
I'm
about
not
them
just,
lyrics.
Right. It's how you put your lyrics down on it. You know, I'm not just gonna be trying to follow everybody else. I'm gonna do it the way
Everyone's.
I do.
Excuse me. I want to hear from Sabby, because she's of like a younger generation. Sabby,
Yes.
I don't know. I don't want to like, make it seem like you're too out of the loop. But I would like
No,
to
she's
hear
a
from
beautiful
your
young
generation,
lady.
because
Yes.
I don't even know if you know who these people are. But from your generation, I would like to know, like, what is your
What do you think, Mama? What do you think,
opinion
Mama?
on what they're talking about and what is actually going on right now in hip hop culture, hip hop world, hip hop music that we like to do.
Like, just going back to what we're here, like everything's so gang like related, and I know it's been going on for years, but like it's just a little crazy. Even as a model that partakes in these videos, I have to be very careful who I work with too.
Yeah.
And that's older, I'm being more mindful about who I'm around. You know, little things happen even with, you know, just the other weekend and everything like that. So and even with me too, like I really like the older music. I like the lyrics and all that stuff. The new music is more about beat, more about like who can just make a hit single now. And I feel like, yes, I'm in these videos and all this stuff, but at the same time, I still have an old soul with with generation. I've always been like that too. And people look at me crazy because in my generation, this is all they
crazy.
Yeah, people make it seem like, well, you listen to that person, they're not even here anymore. Or I'm like, that's just how this is my taste. I'm not.
You know what it's called, Sabby? Sabby, that's the Cappies in us.
You just Capricorn.
We
old
like
ass soul.
Yeah, we are old souls. Capricorns are old souls because we always like we like to always learn and keep going, keep learning, research and everything, because, and I'm gonna tell you why I'm so old school. I'm not that old. I'm not gonna release my age or nothing like that, but I am the youngest out of 9 children. Okay, and the one above me who thought he was gonna be the youngest, when I came around, he was 17 already. So I got nieces and nephews older than me. My oldest sister's damn near 60 years old. So I've heard all genres and ages of music in my household, in my upbringing. So I hear everything, and it is the vibe. But like but Cappies, we love music.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's something about us.
Especially like this kind of happened. I remember this clicking in maybe like 4 to 5 years ago. I remember, I think at this point I was in college still. I can't really remember where I was in life. But at this point, I remember this new generation music of everything coming out on the radio and how I just couldn't connect to it. And I was like, dang, because that music has always been my love. But I'm like, I can't connect to the new music now. And I still can't connect. There's maybe a few songs that people don't hear.
Yeah.
How weird is that? How weird is
I know,
that
right?
at your age?
I feel like
How weird is that?
I agree.
It's not weird. She's
What
an
if your
old
parents?
soul.
Your parents must have been listening to some other stuff for you to feel that way at your age.
No, if she's educated.
Huh? Say again. Say again.
I said your
She knows
parents
good
must have been
music.
listening to something else and really like you grew into that for
No, I
you
think
to say what you're saying.
I think what kind of influenced me maybe is also like my taste, but like I grew up with like five brothers, so I grew up with five, like, I'm one of eight kids, so I grew up with like five boys around me, and they were always into R&B. They're always into
Yes.
that like got me into it. And I don't know, I guess being not around my brothers as much anymore, we all have our own lives, I'm by myself and all this stuff. And being around like the new generation, especially in the modeling field where I'm in these, crowds, I just don't connect
You
to
missed
it.
that. Yeah, you missed that old school.
Like me as far as a person, I like as people, but just certain music now it's just all about twerking. It's all about just who can make the hit single. It's not there's no I don't know this thing. It's weird.
You
There's
know
no-
what, Sabby? I could just
There's no
imagine you.
substance.
No
I could just
substance.
imagine
No
you right
substance.
now in a music video that is your type of taste of music. You would probably make the whole video, mamita. I'm just saying.
She does. You ain't seen it?
Yes.
She does make the whole video.
So
That's a fact.
King, maybe when you do your next song, like, and you need the video because you said you was gonna make a video, give Sabby an old school feeling. Let her feel the song. Maybe she could be in your video.
Well, tell you the truth, I'm always willing to work with new people.
Amen. Because I know he old school. You might be feeling that, Sabby girl.
Yeah,
you make the whole video. Yes.
Yeah, I'm always.
I think it's gonna be fire.
King Charlie.
It's gonna be definitely fire, and we ain't gonna put that out. You heard?
King Charlie, we just heard mention of the radio, and I know, I don't listen to the radio much because we hear the same things. I usually listen to the radio in the cycle of when they're playing like I'll listen to the radio maybe once every 2-3 months.
Right.
So my point is that what would you want to say to the industry if you was able to say anything to the music industry?
Well, damn.
The people that's controlling the people, all of that. What would you?
That's a good question.
That is a good. Look. You see me? I'm like.
Well, I would say, if you're gonna make songs, make it where people can understand it, and get the message out there. You know what I'm saying? It's all right to do your little freak song, but I do a little bit of this and a little bit of that because I have messages in my song. I drop knowledge in my songs. I do my little freak songs. I do it all. You know what I'm saying? But you have to be versatile in this game. You know what I'm saying? You can't just set yourself in one way, because if you set yourself in one way, then that's how they're gonna program you. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to me, I got songs where I drop knowledge. I got songs where I do club songs. I got party songs. I got different type of songs. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, don't allow yourself. Right. You can't allow yourself to be set in one way. That's all I'm saying.
Because you learned from other people.
Sometimes it's just about trying to get the money, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? But I try to put a message, like the OJ said, message in the music. You got to put the message, because if you don't put the message in there, it's like you doing all of this just because you want to get paid, but you didn't do nothing to promote that knowledge. You know what I'm saying? All
right, everybody. Good show. Everybody,
make sure you do your homework, King, when you come to our show, because I asked them all.
All right. I'll make sure I'm prepared.
Yes, I loved it.
Special thanks to Dr. Dre. We want to thank King Charlie Prince for being here.
Straight King.
Everybody, make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe. Hey, Gurus, this is the Lady Guru Show.
Serious. I like that.
Out of here.
Yes. Bye.
Peace and blessings.
Drop the deuces.
And I'm still standing.
All right.